One of the highlights of Devolver Digital's E3 press conference was this gem right here, Angerfoot. I love this game. I just instantly was just drawn to it. I love the art style, the concept, everything about it. And what I'm going to be doing today is playing for the first 5 or so levels so you get a sense of what's going on. If you check this out on Steam, definitely wishlist it. I think it's going to be a banger. It's a lot of fun. The demo itself runs 11 levels. The final level is a boss battle against a giant helicopter called the Goo-copter. And Angerfoot is a complex yet fun, simplistic beat-em-up type experience. It's really, first and foremost, it's just this pulse-pounding, crazy, techno-like music that just gets you amped. And you're gonna get amped as you kick your way and shoot your way through room after room of various baddies. And you'll notice that there's a timer on the upper left corner. There doesn't seem to be any penalty for taking a long time. However, it's very clear to me that speedrunning is a very big part of this game, and they want you to go fast. To me, the gameplay in the simulation kind of struggles slightly when you don't go fast. And you stand in the back room and you let enemies trickle in one after another. They're not that bright. But blowing through the level at Mach speeds, taking out everybody around you as fast as possible is really, really cool. And I love it. So your primary mode of attack is going to be kicking people. Clearly, it's called Angerfoot, right? However, you will pick up weapons. Now, the cool thing about weapons, and you'll see me experiment, this is me recording the first time I ever played this game. The cool thing about weapons is you don't reload them. You just use what is in the gun, but it's always going to be full. And then you throw it. It stuns an enemy temporarily, and you move on. This is not a pure shooter. It is definitely kicking first. Shooting is fun if you have the weapon, but you're not always going to have a weapon. There are handguns, there are Uzis, there are shotguns. Enemies have thrown grenades at me, although I have yet to find any of them. You're also going to find enemies that explode when you kick them, and you're also going to find a plethora of explosive barrels and various highly flammable objects in the universe that, if you're quick enough and you could shoot, you will absolutely be able to destroy large portions of enemies very, very rapidly. And it's this mechanic of busting into a room, kicking your way through the door, typically taking an enemy out with you, picking up their weapon to rapidly destroy other enemies, and advancing through the levels very quickly. That's definitely the name of the game here. What I really like about it is that the environments are so destructible. I mean, it's just insane to me how you can just, if you wanted to, spend time kicking through just about every single thing you see. They explode. Oftentimes, they will explode in such a way that if an enemy is in the shrapnel, they will take damage or at least be stunned, if nothing else. But you get a sense of just this carnage and this violence in this game, which, again, anger and Angerfoot. I think they picked a great name here, by the way. There's some funny things like blurred out body parts. You'll find enemies sitting on the toilet. You'll find some very goofy enemy design. Your character design is very odd as well. This is a very stylized game, but it runs so beautifully on my PC. It does support windowed and full screen mode, and most importantly, yes, it does support ultra wide. So while I'm recording here for you at 1920 by 1080, running at 60 frames a second, you can crank this all the way up to 3440 via 1440 with 120 FPS. And it's smooth and just a lot of fun to play. These kind of games, to me, these Devolver Digital games, they have really found a niche, in my opinion, in very cultivated experiences that focus on one or two core mechanics. Definitely indie game vibes here, but one or two core mechanics that don't necessarily overstay their welcome, but are fun enough that you enjoy playing it. And I blew through this demo in about, maybe 30 minutes, and I loved it. And I know this game isn't coming out until at some point in 2023, I think is what they announced. I wish it was sooner because I want to play the demo again, and I probably will in a couple days just because I had so much fun with it. Now, part of the way through the map, you get into this weird, like I said, you could sit here and you can like sit on the couch and you sit there with your girlfriend and use your phone to, or use your foot to pick up your phone and have a drink and eat popcorn and rub your foot on her face and check your fax machine and all these, I don't know. We're going to find very quickly what at least the plot of this specific area is, and maybe this is the plot of the whole game, I don't know. But we're going to find out the plot of the game is that one of our shoes is missing. And one of our shoes is being held as ransom. And we are going to have to go avenge our shoe. I guess. Or rescue it. I don't know. A game like this doesn't really need a plot. I mean, it's just goofy fun. It's highly stylized. Really, really, you know, clear vision here of just carnage and violence, busting your way through the door, shooting people, throwing their gun, picking up the next thing, and moving your way through level after level. You'll explore some interesting areas. I went through a lot of bathrooms. I went through a lot of sewers. I went through a rooftop area. And I'm curious to see what other areas in this game exist. Lots of TVs and toilets in this universe, you'll notice. That is a very common theme, and a lot of little rooms that you bust open that only have one or two enemies in there. So I feel like there is a kind of like a golden path that you could absolutely take if you wanted to navigate through. And maybe it has something to do with the colors of the doors, or you just memorize the level design. So I could absolutely see this being some kind of like speedrunner type game where people are really invested in, you know, blowing through this game at Mach speed. But I took my time, and I really did walk through and try to check all the rooms and doors to see what was behind there. And there's some fun stuff in there, and I like it. So I just feel that a game like this should get a lot of love, which is why I did this review video. I didn't really... I mean, there were some other games of Devolver Digital that absolutely caught my attention, but I think this one, more than any of them, really spoke to me. An ultra-violent, goofy, stylized FPS that was just tons of fun to play. It seemed to have very interesting mechanics to it, and I hope to see, you know, as the final game launches, more weapons. It seems like you're going to be able to customize your shoe, or maybe the wristbands on your arm, or your character, maybe the music, I don't know. But a game like this is one of those games, I think, where you can just sit down and enjoy it for what it is and let all your worries go away. So those are my thoughts on Angerfoot. Check it out. It's on the Steam store right now. You can wishlist it. You can check out the demo. Do yourself a favor and play it. I think you are going to love it, because I sure did. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.